Okay, Matrix, today we are doing the transition question or the development question of the study guide. So this is obviously the first question of transition pages, and let's just get started. So it says, given the front view and top view of a HVAC system showing a square-based pyramidal prism, starting position of point DE of the seam. Okay, then it says draw a scale 1 to 1, the given front and top view of the given portion. Develop the surface of the transition piece in the direction of the arrow as shown on the top view. So the arrow will be going this direction here. It is on the page now. We've just corrected this page. So yours will have the arrow. Then it says develop the surface of the transition piece in the direction of the arrow. Okay, make edge ED the seam, which is this here. Okay, there we have show all necessary construction and fold lines. Okay, so because we know transition pieces is part of our first orthographic projection, we know that we have front and then top. So this here will be our top view and this here will be our front view. Okay, so with that information, let's just start by drawing up our top view first. So you're going to start off by drawing a little square, well, not a square, but a little crisscross line so that you can draw your square. So like this over here, where you'll obviously have your center point. Okay, then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take a radius of 15, because, well, you could actually also just take 30 and measure 15, 15, but it's easier with a circle because you can take half 30, which is obviously your radius of 15, lightly draw a circle, and then straight after that you can draw your lines for your top view in, just like this over here. Okay, on the edges of the circle, and there you've got your first little square. Okay, and then we can just label this point here point D. All right, so now that we've got that little section there, we're going to grab half of 70, which will be 35. Okay, and you're again just going to draw a circle like this over here, and then around the circle you are going to draw your square. So around the circle we're just going to draw in some solid lines so that we can draw our square. Okay, now that we've done that, we have point E as well, and then we'll have point DE, this point here, this point here, and this point here. Okay, so that is our top view complete. Very easy, very simple. And now we are going to move on to doing the front view. So we're going to start off by just measuring 10. We're doing this to get a little bit of a baseline for the pyramid, sorry. Okay, there we go. So now that we've got that, we're going to start off by just bringing our bottom points. So you can see that they'll be there for the prism. And you can lightly bring up lines for the top points, just as pictured over here. Okay, and then you're going to measure 63, or the total height of 73. So we'll have 73 over here, and then at 63 you should make another line over there. Okay, so we've made those marks, and now we're going to draw horizontal lines across the paper like that. Okay, so now that we've done that, we're going to obviously just draw in our view quickly. So we will have the side here, we'll obviously have the slope as well. The side here, which will actually be DE, so we'll just label that D and E, and then we will have the bottom of the transition piece as well. Okay, so now that we've got that, we will be able to start the development. Okay, so just to give you guys a little bit of insight, what you're looking at now is the top view of the transition piece. So before we unfold it, I want you to kind of have an idea of what you're working with first. So this will obviously be the front view, as you can obviously see that has been given on your page. If we turn it around, you'll be looking at the left view, so you can see part of the slope over there. Okay, and you can see how the side sizes change. Okay, if we tilt it again, that gives you a little bit of an indication of how each side looks a little bit different in size.
And then we obviously go back to the top view. Okay, so basically I want you to imagine what these views you've just seen will look like once you've unfolded the shape. So if you had to cut the seam and unfold it, what would it look like? Okay, so keep that in mind.
Okay, so basically what I want you to imagine is that we are taking this shape here, we are unfolding it, and that's basically what we're doing. So you can see here, DE will not be the true length as this point here. And the reason why I say that is because if I show you this pencil like this, you can see this is obviously the true length. If I tilt it slightly, the length looks a little bit shorter because you're looking at it from a different angle now. Okay, so that's the same with these lines. So in order to get the true length, what we are going to do is we are going to take our compass, we're going to grab the length of DE, we're going to draw a line like this, okay, and then we are going to take that line up and we are going to put it on the short line, okay. You will obviously see we've got two lines here, and we've got the shortest height and then the longest height. Now we are using the shortest height because if you have a look here, you'll see that it's short, high, and D is obviously of the shorter height. So if we label that, that would be DE as well. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to just draw a line going up like that. Okay, so now that we've got that line, we have now obviously got the true length of the line. So we always bring lines to the horizontal to get the true length, because obviously vertical, horizontal will be the true length. We are going to then measure this line. So we're going to take our compass, we're going to grab the measurement of the line, and we're going to place it on our points over here. So we've got DE obviously over here, and we know that this will be our true length. Okay, problem solved. What we're then going to do is we're going to grab this length here. So before we do that, I think let's label it. So we're going to do I'm going to do numbers. So let's do 1, 2, 3. We've obviously got E. We will have 4, 5, 6. Okay. So now that we've got our numbers, we're going to take the length E1. Okay. Because it's a horizontal, we do not need to change the line. And where the line ends, you're going to make a little arc like that. Okay. Now what we want to do is we want to grab a triangular line, so we can obviously figure out where this line is, and this line we are going to label small little a. Okay, we obviously want to find the true length of this line, so this line is imaginary. You can see it kind of goes through this point here, but it does help us with our transition. And so what we're going to do is we're going to grab this length here, and we're just going to slightly bring it onto our horizontal line like this. Again, this is the short line, so when we bring it up, we're going to bring it up to the short line that we've made at the top of our page, and from point 1 we are going to measure that line. Okay, so now that we've got that line length, you can obviously label it A if you would like to, but you don't have to. It will just help you if you decide to do that. Okay, so we're going to grab this line here, and we are going to draw from point D to point 1. And where these crisscross is where your line will be made. So from E to 1, you will draw a solid line, just like this over here. Okay, point 1. And then obviously this line here will be point A that we've labeled. So we are lightly going to put A. Okay, obviously this is a slope, so this line will not be the same length as 30, even though it comes up as that in the question. It will actually be the length of this line here at the horizontal. And so what you're going to do is you're going to take this line here, okay, you're going to draw an arc like that, and then we are going to want to get the length of 1/4. Obviously 1/4 is taller than DE, so we are going to take this line, we are going to bring it down to the horizontal line, just like this over here. Okay, and then from there we're going to bring it up to the highest line, so it will land up over here. Okay, then we're going to draw to our corner to obviously get the true length of the line. And so once we get the true length of the line, so let's just grab it quickly, sorry. We've got the true length of the line, we're going to put it at point 1, and then we're going to make our arcs cross. Okay, and then that will give us our new point, which will be D2, our new point 4. Okay, so let's just draw that in, point 4. Obviously now we also have the length of 4 and 1, so we can just draw that in straight away. Okay, perfect. Now we obviously want to do this side here, 1, 4, 4, 5, 5, 2, and 2, 1. Okay, so we can start off by grabbing the horizontal line, because obviously we know the horizontal line will stay the same. So we can just take this length again. Or even if you want to measure from here, you can do that. So we're going to take E1, we're going to draw a little mark or an arc just like this over here. This will be point 2, but obviously we want to grab the length measurements. So what we're going to do is we are going to grab this point over here, okay, which will be, we'll label this one small letter B. Okay, we obviously want to get the horizontal length of this line. So from 2 to 4, we're going to grab this length here, and we're going to transfer it onto the horizontal like this over here. Okay, so we are going to then bring it to the upper height, obviously because it's on the upper side, as you can see over here, so the higher side, and we're going to bring that line there. Now because 2 and 1 share a sort of corner, we can take it to corner 1. Okay, that will be point B, and then from there we are going to grab the measurement all the way up here to B, and then we can transfer a line across. Okay, and then from there we can measure our lines, and then this line here will obviously be line small b. Okay, you don't have to label your development, but it does help if you get a little bit confused of where you're sitting at. So I would say label it very neatly if you want. Okay, then we obviously want to get 4 and 5. 4 and 5 is now not going to be the same as a slope here, because it is obviously going to be straight at the back because there's no slope. And so this will actually be the length 30. So we are going to grab this length here, and we are going to draw a little line. Now, what's interesting is because 4 and 1 share the same back as 5 and 2, they will actually be the same length. So if you want to avoid having to do the measurements all over again, you can just grab length 4, 1, and from 2 here, you can measure 5, 2. So we'll have 5 over there, and to the top part over there, which you can actually see is smaller than this part here because it's not sloping, and then we can put 5 and 2 in the lines over there. Okay, so now we obviously want to get the next part, which will be 5, 2, 5, 6, 6, 3, and 3, 2. Again, 3, 2 is horizontal, and we know it will be the length of 70, so you can grab your same horizontal length as E1. You can make your line like this over here, and then we want to get line 5 and 3. Now it's important to note that 5 and 3 will not be the same as D and 1, because D and 1 touches the small section of the line, whereas 3 and 5 touches the high section of the line. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to grab 5 and 3, you're going to bring it down onto your horizontal. You are going to bring it up to the highest line, and you are going to then draw a line like that, and we've labeled it little c. Okay, now that you've got your line, what you're going to do is you're going to grab the length of that line, okay, and then from 5 you're going to put it down, which you will obviously get 0.3. 3. Okay, so now we can measure our lines or put our lines in. We've got 5, 3, which will be a length of, or will be C. Okay, now that we've got that line in, we are basically going to use the same measurements here. So D and 4, because we've obviously got the slope for 5 and 6. So we'll grab this point here, okay, and we will do the line, okay, and then what we're going to do is D and E in size will actually be the same as 3 and 6. So we'll obviously grab that line over there, because obviously they're in the same line length. Then we're going to transfer that line like that, and we are going to draw this line in going here. Okay, and this is 6. Okay, so you can see these two sides should actually be the same length and size. The only thing that will differ is this little measurement here that you use to finish up your shape. Okay, then we've obviously got the last shape given to us, which is 3, 6, 6D, DE, E3. Okay, so we are obviously going to again grab the horizontal line, which will be E1, okay, E1, like that over there, and we are going to then get a small little helping line, so that will be this one here. Okay, so we've got a small little line. We're going to label this small line D, and we're going to bring it onto the horizontal as well. So we've got this line here, bring it onto the horizontal. This will obviously touch the shorter length, so we're going to bring it up to the shorter length over here and make a line. So this will be line D. Okay, then we are going to grab the length of line D, this point here. From 6 we'll measure to E, just like this over here, and then we'll have our line D at this point over here. Okay, from there again we're going to measure 30 because it's flat and there's no slope, so you can take the length of this line that you've already got over here, and we're just going to make an arc like that, and then we already have the length DE, so there's no need to measure again. You can just take that length and draw a line like that. Okay, once you have done that, connect it all together and label again, so that will be E and D. Okay, so I hope this video helps you guys, and it's a nice little demonstration of how to draw transition pieces.